Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon and welcome back to our channel once again. William Samoei Arap Ruto, the President of the Republic of Kenya, is a very shrewd politician. And William Ruto is a political schemer. William Ruto has now successfully managed to hijack Raila Odinga's campaign of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission. And I can assure you, William Ruto is going to milk political capital out of that move. Because for those who follow the politics of the Republic of Kenya, yesterday, Raila Odinga and Musalia Mudavadi issued a joint statement on Raila Odinga's bid of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission. Raila Odinga was very clear on one thing, that nobody pushed him to run. Musalia Mudavadi was also very clear why the government decided to support Raila Odinga.
No, I mean, I'm a Kenyan, and as I mentioned, nobody has asked me. The Kenya government did not ask me. I made a decision myself that I want to offer myself to serve the continent. And as you know, you cannot run for this position without being sponsored by your country. Your candidature is not valid until your country has said yes. So I was myself pleasantly surprised that the Kenya government said they would support me. I was expecting them to say no. I don't know the reason why they said yes. That is their own decision, it's not mine.
I will tell you why we said yes. We said yes because Raila is competent. Yes. And we are looking at Kenya's national interests and Africa's national interests. So this is not about our local issues. And we do not want, and we really want to get the Fourth Estate to help us to project the national interests of Kenya, because it would be a first for Kenya. And it would be an opportunity for Kenya to offer leadership to the African Union. And Raila Odinga has got the requisite experience. As I said in another forum, he has seen both hot and cold. And Africa is beaming with both hot and cold. And Raila is required on the African continent.
So which means William Ruto, as the President of the Republic of Kenya, is now going to be in charge of that campaign. He's going to ensure that Raila Odinga succeeds. And should Raila Odinga succeed, William Ruto is going to take credit for it. But Raila Odinga is facing serious political dilemma as a result of the bid of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission. So in this video, I want us to do a critical analysis about Raila Odinga's dilemma in his bid of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission.
Raila, I'm not anyone's project. Yeah, right. Okay, sorry. The AUC bid is what.
Why is he always so concerned about being? He told us this in 2022. He's telling us now. Why? Why do you have to respond to this if you're actually not anyone's project?
First I would like to disagree with that. Baba is a project. Baba has never been a project of anybody. In fact, everybody has wanted to be Baba's project. And he started with Moi, wanted to be his project at some point. You remember when the project didn't succeed, and he wanted Baba to run the Uhuru's campaign. It didn't work. But it also very telling that even Kibaki became Baba's project. And when he was most vulnerable, it was Baba who ensured that he got onto the seat of the presidency. When Uhuru was being asked in 2017, 2018, that what is going to be his legacy, he looked for Baba, and he became Baba's project, though people were interpreting it the other way around. When Ruto is being asked the hard questions, you remember at some point in this country, Ruto could not speak to any of the East African presidents. He was having a tiff with every one of them. I think he got the ear of the president. At some point, even him, he claimed that I am a founder member of ODM.
But before you do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support, because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, allow me to also introduce you guys to LemFi. LemFi is a mobile app for users in the UK, Canada, and the United States of America to send money to Kenya at zero fee. They offer the best exchange rates, and the money will be delivered directly to Mpesa accounts, Airtel money, and if you want, the money will also be delivered directly into your bank account. You can use the link in the pinned comment to download the app. Ladies and gentlemen, let us get back into the main issue. When Raila Odinga declared his bid of becoming the next chair of the African Union Commission in the presence of Olusegun Obasanjo, Kenyans asked themselves several questions.
In less than a year, there should be a change of button at the AU level. Maybe some of us should take it upon ourselves to assist our incumbent leaders to make sure that we look and search and advise. We need a person, man or woman, who has experience, who understand the situation we are in, who comes from a background that can make a difference. And of course, that consultation means now the people that from my own understanding of the situation and what I know of Africa, haven't been involved with Africa for more than 5 decades. What sort of people? Some time ago, I was one of those who midwifed, because we believe that people who have held the position of head of government, either at the prime minister level or at the presidential level, will be able to knock at the door of incumbent prime ministers and presidents without much ado. And
one of the questions which majority of Kenyans were asking was whether Raila Odinga will be able to run again for the presidency of the Republic of Kenya. The other question which Kenyans were asking was whether the bid was actually part and parcel of some agreement between William Ruto and Raila Odinga. Remember, they had met somewhere in Mombasa earlier in the presence of Olusegun Obasanjo. And the other question which Kenyans were asking was whether Raila Odinga was being played. And of course, we also know that there were also the questions about the people who were behind Raila Odinga's bid. Because things moved so fast, the AU had to even sit and agree that this time around it was for Eastern Africa. So majority of Kenyans thought, okay, this thing was coming Raila's way. Then before we knew, there was the bid from Djibouti, there was also the bid from Somalia. And Kenyans were like, okay, now Raila Odinga is being played. But now the government has declared that they will be leading that campaigns for Raila Amolo Odinga, which means Raila Odinga is going to face serious political dilemma. In fact, as at now, Raila Odinga is facing serious political dilemma in his bid. The first dilemma Raila Odinga is facing is the fear that William Samoei Arap Ruto, the president of the Republic of Kenya, might actually derail his campaign, because he's now declared, the government has taken charge of the campaign, but that fear that the government or William Ruto, being his main opponent in the last election, might actually derail his bid. And that derailment comes in two ways. Political strategy. That William Ruto is keen on winning in 2027. So for William Ruto to win in 2027, Raila Odinga must pave way. So he's going to do everything possible within his powers to ensure that every Kenyan will know that Ruto amejaribia baba. But at the end of the day, Raila Odinga will be led to fail. Then when they come back, Ruto will come tell Kenyans, okay, mimi nilijaribia baba, ameshindwa. So huyu ni mtu mwenye hawezi shinda anything. So that is the biggest fear, that probably William Ruto is just playing Raila Odinga. He wants Raila Odinga out of the picture. But the other derailment comes in the name of diplomatic blunder. You all know that William Ruto has now emerged as the blue-eyed man for the US. Let me just use the word puppet, which is not appropriate, but allow me to use it. That William Ruto has now emerged in the face of other African head of state as the favorite for the United States of America. And because of that, there are countries who will not vote for Raila Odinga on that account. So there's that fear. And that fear is because there are so many countries in Africa who are Islamic. And you know the way Islam, and you know the way those countries, and you know the impact, the Israel politics, the Palestinian politics. Of course, you remember the latest where the Iranian president chopper crashed. So there's that fear that now I have the support of William Ruto. But is he honest? Okay, assuming he is honest and he really wants good for Raila Odinga, what about the diplomatic blunder? So that's the first dilemma Raila Odinga is facing. Because let's face it, Raila Odinga has serious international networks. In fact, today I was listening to Manzo. He stated certain things that really caught my attention.
It is also complicated by the fact that Raila Odinga somehow, or perception, it is perceived, is being helped by the government. But Raila Odinga is not being helped by the government to become the chair of the African Union. First of all, he's been a presidential candidate for many years, and most people who are in opposition have become presidents, and they are helping him.
Okay.
What is happening is that the government has to pretend. You have seen a cartoon of Raila being fixed somewhere.
That's number one. Number two, Raila Odinga is also going to deal with the betrayal tag. Yesterday, I pointed out something, that Raila Odinga made an appearance and issued a joint statement with Musalia Mudavadi, which was okay. But there was no presence clearly of Azimio. I would have expected Raila Odinga to even tag along, let's say, Kalonzo Musyoka. But that did not happen. Raila went there as Raila Odinga, probably as ODM. Remember the kind of politics which is currently taking place or taking shape in the Republic of Kenya. Rigathi Gachagua is being sidelined there. So which means William Ruto would be interested in Raila's politics. But Azimio expects Raila Odinga to support them. I just want to assume that should Raila Odinga win his bid, do you think he can decampaign Kenya Kwanza government? Maybe he can, but again, will he be able to support the candidature of Kalonzo? Of course, as the chair of the African Union Commission, if he will not be running, Raila Odinga will not be expected to play politics. Azimio core principles will view that as an act of betrayal, that Raila Odinga betrayed them. I don't know, but I have that feeling. Because already, there are those mamas within Azimio. Number three is the Kenya Kwanza failures. And the biggest test for Raila Odinga is going to come on the finance bill. You know, Kenya Kwanza is coming up with finance bill. The 2022-2023 finance bill made life very difficult for most Kenyans. And there's another one which is coming, which is even worse. William Ruto would be keen to ensure that that finance bill goes through parliament. But William Ruto is currently facing a challenge with Rigathi Gachagua, which means there are those members of parliament whose allegiance is to or are to Rigathi Gachagua. They will not vote for this finance bill. If they gang up with the Azimio, then chances of that finance bill being defeated are high. But William Ruto might decide to go to Raila Odinga and ask him to support him. That would mean Raila Odinga will keep on carrying Kenya Kwanza failures. Remember the way Raila Odinga carried Jubilee failures on his back, just because he had a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. I'm saying that. So Raila Odinga must figure out the best way to deal with Ruto, play his politics. Because Musalia Mudavadi announced yesterday that clearly they are going to submit his bid. They are going to translate his CV into several languages. They are going to set up a team. They are going to set up a secretariat. Everything is going to be in place. Then finance bill comes. Then Raila Odinga directs his members of parliament to vote no. Well, Ruto wants yes. So that's a very big dilemma for those who might not know. So he's going to carry the failure. And lastly, the 2027. Will Raila Odinga be on the ballot? If yes, will he resign? If Raila Odinga will not be on the ballot, what is William Ruto's expectation? I've always told you that in politics, only two constants, interest and betrayal. What is William Ruto's interest in Raila Odinga becoming the chair of the African Union Commission? What about Azimio? Majority of Raila Odinga supporters who have stood with him since 1997 when he first contested. There's a day I met some Mzee who told me how he stood with Raila Odinga from that time up to now. And he told me that his only worry was that was before the last election, that he was going to die before Raila Odinga becomes the president. And he was very sad. Now, these people, those kind of people, they still expect Raila Odinga to be on the ballot. So there's a big dilemma there. I don't know what you think, but that's my take. Until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.